Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in and being part of this evening. This is Rahul Soni on behalf of TCS, and I welcome you all to the Jobinar on careers in cybersecurity. For those who are joining us for the first time, let me tell you briefly what a Jobinar is. TCS and Jobinars is a program we have started last year to reach out to you all and to be able to talk to you about what's happening in the industry and the job world. Why have we named it as Jobinar? It's of course webinars with an intent to make you understand the job opportunities in various key career streams. Every second and fourth Thursday of the month, we hold such webinars and we hope we will be able to add value to you in your search for a bright and rewarding career. In today's session, we will explore how cybersecurity is a crucial skill for every industry and how anyone, whether you have a technical background or not, can build a successful career in this field. With the rise of cyber threats, organizations across all sectors are urgently seeking skilled professionals to protect their data, networks, and systems. The great news is that you don't need a degree in computer science to get started. Cybersecurity is an inclusive field that welcomes people from various backgrounds. So, whether you want to land a rewarding job, secure your future in a growing field, or simply gain valuable skills, cybersecurity offers endless opportunities for everyone. Join us as we dive into how you can begin your journey into this exciting and essential career today. And for doing the talking, we have an expert with us, Mr. Pratap Gola. So before we invite him, let me introduce Mr. Pratap. He brings over 30 years of experience with Tata Consultancy Services and currently serves as a domain consultant in cybersecurity for higher education unit. He has led diverse teams, including managing 400 plus professionals in TCS Hungary, delivering complex migration projects and heading the freshers training program. With expertise as a data administrator for government departments in India and abroad, and active involvement as a board of studies member for various universities, Mr. Pratap has significantly contributed to academia and industry, holding an MTech degree from IIT Delhi and a BTech from Shri Venkateshwara University, has rich experience bridges technology and education seamlessly. So welcome, sir.
Thank you, Rahul, for the nice introduction about myself and setting the context. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Go to Pratap, sir, and ask the first question. Pratap, sir, I would like to ask you how students, regardless of their academic background, can leverage their core skills along with an understanding of cybersecurity to unlock exciting career opportunities. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, sure, Rahul. Thanks for asking me the question. Yeah, let me pull up the presentation, which will give you the details about the cybersecurity, what careers we have, and how it is going to help the IT people as well as the non-IT people. So let me share the presentation. Is it visible?
Yes, Mr. Pratap, it's visible.
Okay. And also let me get the pointer here. Okay, great. So all the audience, very good evening one more time, and then welcome to the session. I hope I will be able to convey some things about cybersecurity. I understand we have a mixed background here from people from IT background, non-IT background, and also you have variety of experience within cybersecurity. Some people are at the beginner level, some people are at the intermediate level, and some people are at advanced level as well. Hope each one of you will be able to get some message from this session. Let's begin the session. So what is a cybersecurity? So as per Wiki's definition, cybersecurity is a practice of protecting internet connected devices and services from malicious attacks. It's also known as computer security or information technology security, IT security. So this is the definition given by Wiki. But in my opinion, cybersecurity is also about protecting devices which are not connected to internet also. So even if you have a standalone system which doesn't have any network connectivity, so we need to ensure that those systems are also need to be protected. So cybersecurity has such an impact that has created in the current world. And let's see what kind of subdomains are. Am I audible? Some people are telling that I'm not audible. Rahul, can you hear me?
Yeah, Pratap sir, audio is clear.
Okay. So I'll go ahead. So since the whole session is recording, so probably people who cannot hear now, they can check their system and then go through the recording. Yeah. So cybersecurity has multiple branches or multiple subdomains. So these are some of the subdomains we have. You have application security, information security, network security, operational technology security, encryption, access control, end user education, and disaster recovery. So let me briefly give you what each branch talks about and what you can learn from this. And so some of you may be falling in one of these branches, so you can relate how you can learn your skills within this particular domain. So application security is, see, let's say you have created an application. For example, it may be a library management system or a canteen management system or bus routing management system. Some system you have created, which is, let's say it is a web enabled. So you want to ensure that people who are accessing the system, accessing your application, should get right usage. So if your application is down, and then people may not be able to use it. So at the same time, when you are developing an application, you should ensure that those application is written in a proper manner. I mean, in the sense, it should be written in a secure manner. It should follow secure coding practices. So for example, I have recently come across few best practices that need to be followed in Python programming language. See, in a Python programming language, see, if you do not know about Python programming language, don't worry. I'm just giving you some example because it is related to application security. So in a Python programming language, so you can actually copy a variable from A to B. Let's say you have some data in A variable and you want to copy into B variable, or you have passed some inputs to a variable and you want to capture the data in a particular variable. So how you can do it? You can do by using a simple assignment function, but that is not enough. So when you want to follow secure guidelines, so if you do not follow some practices, it can lead to buffer overflow security problems. So you need to know all those things when you write a particular piece of application. So you learn those things in application security. And similarly in information security, so information is nothing but data. So data, as you know, it is a new oil nowadays. Oil, as you know, oil is like a gold. So similarly, data is gold nowadays. The person who has right amount of data, he is the king in the current market scenario. So you need to protect the information of your company. So you need to practice. You need to follow such guidelines and such practices so that your information is not taken out by bad people. And network security is another area where you want to protect your network. Let's say you are working for a customer. Let's say you want to connect to from your customer side to another customer side. Let's say you are in Delhi and your office is in Mumbai, or your second branch is in let's say in Hyderabad. So when you want to connect from one location to another location, so that particular communication should be secure. So you need to see that your network is established in such a way that those data that is transferred between the locations is properly secured. So those aspects are covered in the network security. Operational technology is a very typical branch within cybersecurity. Like operational technology is nothing but your supplementary or complementary system that you have in your organizations. For example, let's say if you are working in a manufacturing company, your drilling machine may be an operational technology machine. Your laser cutting machine may be an operational technology machine. or if you are working in a healthcare industry, your X-ray machine could be an operational technology machine, or your CT scan machine, your BP apparatus. So any digital system that you see come under operational technology systems. And all these operational technology systems also need to be protected very well. See, in general, what you see in the current market is most of the operational technology systems are not upgraded as compared to the IT systems. So cyber attackers or cyber hackers, they try to take an advantage of the operational technology machines and try to get into the mainstream of the systems. So this protecting of these systems is very, very crucial. And encryption is another way that you can follow to protect your systems from the bad people. You need to secure your information, or you need to follow some encryption guidelines so that somebody gets hold of the data will not be able to make out any meaningful information out of this. So you need to follow right encryption algorithms. And access control is another method there whereby you can protect your data. So access control is nothing but, let's say you are a person, you want to access a particular machine in your company. So one is you can enter into the company because you are an employee of the organization. By wearing an ID card, you can enter into the company. But can you access the machine? Do you have the right permissions to access the system? That defines your access control. So in simple term, it is called ACL, access control list. So that defines your access controls. See, if you have seen one movie called Mission Impossible, I hope most of you have seen it. Mission Impossible has a lot of, it's a series of movies. Tom Cruise is the hero. There is one particular movie called Rogue Nation. I hope most of you have seen it. So in that, this particular access control has been exploited by the hero. So he doesn't have access to enter into a particular facility. So what he does is he creates a wrong authentication about himself and inserts into the facilities database. So when he walks into the facility, the system checks his authentication against the recorded evidence and then matches. Since he has already installed a wrong evidence there, system will not be able to catch that he is not an authenticated person. So here it's a wrong example to quote, but that is how access controls play a major role in ensuring that the right people are entering into our facilities. And end user education is another sub-domain of cybersecurity, where every citizen of India should be aware about cybersecurity, the implications of cyber attacks. So nowadays we see a lot of news about digital arrests. So it is nothing but lack of proper education about cyber attacks in our in the common people. So every citizen should be knowing about cyber attacks, how they can protect their money, hard-earned money, from the bad people. So here in the whole session, we are not talking about ensuring the personal assets. We are talking about protecting the enterprise security, enterprise assets, which is basically your web applications, your servers, your data center, like that. And then disaster recovery, in case if some cyber attack happens, how soon you can recover the entire data, how soon you can make your systems up and running. So all those things are studied in the data recovery, disaster recovery aspect. So I'll give you one example in the operational technology scenario. There is a movie I have seen recently. It's called CBI 5. It's a Malayalam movie, but it is dubbed into many other languages. It is available, I think, in Hindi, Telugu, in other regional languages as well. So if you have not seen, you can just go and then watch it on the OTT. So what that movie talks about is, the movie talks about pacemakers. I hope you have heard about the term called pacemaker. So if somebody is having a heart problem, so they install the pacemaker within the heart so that the heart will function normally. So the villain in the movie hacks into the pacemaker and sends wrong signals so that the heart will not function properly. So that kind of damage it can create if your systems are not protected properly. So these are some of the subdomains we have in the cybersecurity. So depending on your interest, depending on your expertise, you can get into one of these. So which movie? It is CBI 5. CBI 5, that is for operational technology, and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is for access control. Okay. So let's get into some details about hacking here. So you may think that I'm a small person. I don't have money. I don't have a data. My company is very small. It doesn't generate any revenue. It is still running in losses. I'm a startup, or I'm still studying. I am part of the education institute. Why anybody will hack into my system? So hackers may have many motivations why they hack your data. So one main reason is a financial gain. So they want to make money. That is as simple as that. So, but there are other motivations why hackers want to get into your company or your data. One is data exfiltration. So what does it mean? So that hackers try to steal the data and try to send the data out. Let's say you are working in a company A, and hackers will steal the data from company A and then send it outside the company. So that is called data exfiltration. What they will do with the data, that is not part of this particular discussion. So that is one motivation they would be having. So they may use it for their own purpose, or they may sell the data in the dark web. They can do whatever they want. But data exfiltration is another is one of the motivations why hackers want to hack into a particular system. Espionage is another motivation. Espionage is basically it's a spying. So here hackers may not directly do any damage, but they are trying to spy. They want to watch what other persons are doing. So that is espionage. See, for example, North Korea may want to know what USA is doing, what kind of weapons USA is developing. Similarly, USA wants to know what North Korea is trying to do. That is called espionage. Service disruption is another motivation where somebody may not like what other person is doing, or somebody may not like what a particular company is doing. So typically, you will have some non-profitable organizations or NGOs where they are trying to do something, but if a person doesn't like what they're doing, they will try to disrupt their operations. They will try to do DDoS attack or DOS attack. DOS is denial of service, and DDoS is distributed denial of service. So these are, by doing these attacks, the entire service of the company's website will go offline, will be shut down. So thereby they bring the service. So these kind of people are called hacktivists. Activist is nothing but hacking plus activity. So they are termed as activists. So they try to bring some disruption here. And blackmail is another motivation where they'll steal the data and they will blackmail the person saying that unless until you pay me or you give me something, I will not give the data back. I will sell this data somewhere else. So that is kind of blackmail is another motivation. And financial gain. So whatever they do, they try to get some money out of that. And philosophical political beliefs is another motivation. Generally, a political party, if they try to do something and somebody doesn't like what the political party is doing, so they try to do some damage to that political party image. So they try to shut down the website of the political party, or they try to publish some unwanted material on the political party's website, so that they bring some damage to that reputation. So this is another motivation why hackers want to get into hacking. So ethical is another motivation. So here it is like this. Let's say a company is doing legal business. Legally, it is doing right business, but an employee of that company thinks that the company is doing illegal things. Okay. So the employee of the company thinks that it is doing illegal business. So they try to shut down the company's websites, systems, servers, desktops, laptops. So they think that they are doing ethical business, but they are not doing, they are doing damage to the company. And revenge is another motivation what people try to do. Typically what happens is in a corporate world, if there is a disgruntled employee, and if he has not received a promotion or if he has not received some good pay hike, they try to take some revenge to the parent company, even though they are separated from the company or they resign from the company. Sometimes they will have the login IDs. So they try to log into the system and they'll try to bring down the system. They'll try to crash the data. They'll try to crash the database. All those things they can do. And disruption chaos is what we just discussed. If somebody doesn't like, they'll try to bring down the system. There are some group of people here. So what they do is they just want to prove their skills. So they just want to tell the whole world that I have the skills. So I can bring the whole system down. I can disrupt their business. So I can create a chaos here. So they just want to prove their skills. And war is another motivation here where nations are involved. We have seen between Russia and Ukraine and Israel and nearby countries, Lebanon and all those things. So where the nations are sponsoring cyber attacks against another nation. So there are many other motivations why hackers want to get into your data. So these are some of the motivations I just listed down. And which are industries that are impacted by cyber security or hacking? Pretty much each and every industry is impacted because of these cyber attacks, because each and every industry is connected to the internet, or they have presence on the internet. So you take example of manufacturing, aerospace, communications, chemical and pharmaceutical, consumer goods, energy and utilities, BFSI, financial services, banking and insurance. Roughly 40% of money is there in this. 40% of the whole world's money is with this industry, BFSI, freight, logistics and transportation, health and life sciences. Health and life sciences is very, very critical. See, for example, there is a published material where you can get a credit card number by paying $5 or $3 on a dark net, okay, on a dark web. $3 is nothing but around 250 rupees. So credit card number you can get by paying 250 rupees. And you can get a social security number by paying $10. Social security number is like unique identification in the USA, similar to our Aadhaar card in India. So you can get a social security number by paying $10 in the dark web. But if you want to get healthcare information about a particular person, you need to pay around $60 to $65. So that is the kind of value that health-related information about a person. You can get that information on the dark web, but I'm not going to tell you how you can get it. But that is the kind of value it has, and people are paying that much money to get the information. If you have followed some news in the recent past, there are two very famous hospitals in Mumbai. Both are corporate hospitals, and let's name it as Hospital A and Hospital B. Hospital A was doing good business in the sense they were serving patients well, and then patients are recovering well. There are a lot of patients coming and then joining the Hospital A. And Hospital B was not doing so great business. So what Hospital B has done it, they have hacked into the Hospital A's systems and they have manipulated the drug dosages. Instead of giving 2 ml, they have changed it to 20 ml. Instead of giving 1 tablet, they have changed it to 10 tablets. So they have manipulated the drug dosage by hacking into the Hospital A's systems, and thereby they brought the reputation of the Hospital A down. So these things can happen these things are happening in nowadays because most of the systems are upgraded. Most of the systems are exposed to the internet. How you can protect all these things? By following regular practices, by following regular security measures, we can protect these systems. We will see how we can achieve those things in our subsequent slides. Hospitality and travel is another industry which is impacted. Media, entertainment, publishing, technology industry is again impacted. There are few other industries which are not so popular, but they are impacted. Like education industry is impacted. Government is impacted. Defense is also impacted because of the cybersecurity. So you name any company that is impacted because of the cybersecurity. And our job as a cybersecurity professionals is to protect these systems from the bad people. So let's see, as you have rightly pointed out, cybersecurity is not only for tech students, it is meant for non-tech students also. So I have now listed down some of the career paths available for non-tech students or non-engineers or non-IT, non-tech students. And then what kind of skills you need to have to get into cybersecurity roles as a non-IT, non-tech student. So these are the careers that are available for non-IT, non-tech student. You have a data protection, you can become a data protection compliance officer, you can become a asset inventory manager, you can become a marketing manager. Why marketing manager? Because let's say you have joined a company where the company is selling cybersecurity products. So as a marketing manager, you need to know the capability of the cybersecurity product. Let's say there is a product called, I'm just giving an example here. There is a product called SailPoint. It is used in identity and access management. It uses, I mean, using the tool, you can authenticate and then you can identify, authorize a person, saying that he is the right person to do particular job. So if you are a marketing manager, you don't need to be very technical, but at least you should know the background of that SailPoint, background of the tool. So, but as a non-technical person, you can still get into a marketing manager and then carry out the marketing activities so that you can help to grow the business. You can also become a cyber accountant. Let's say you are from a finance background. You are, let's say you have done a BBA or BCom or MBA, or if you are a CA student, chartered accountant, you can become a cyber accountant, because with the help of, with the knowledge of financial transaction, financial accounting knowledge that you have, and by adding few elements of cybersecurity knowledge, you can become a cyber accountant. Because see, generally what happens if a let's say you are an accountant, your job is to take care of the accounts of a particular company, and if you see that there is some unusual pattern of the, you can also become a legal advisor. So let's say you are from a law background, and there are a lot of cyber laws that are coming up in each and every country, including India. So there are a lot of law colleges offering cyber law diploma programs. So you can learn those things and then you become a legal advisor in a company by practicing cyber law. You can also become content and report writer. There is a famous saying called, if you are not writing something, it is not happening. So whatever is happening, you need to write. So you need to record everything that let's say, see for example, let's say there is a cyber incident happened in a company. There is a cyber attack happened and something has been stolen. And let's say you, as a cyber investigator, as a police person, you are able to catch that culprit. You are able to catch that bad person who has done the damage. And if you want to get the person punished, you need to produce the person in the court of law. At the same time, you need to produce sufficient evidence, and so at the same time, you need to produce a good summary of the findings. So you need to have good writing capabilities so that you can produce that in the court of law and then get the bad person punished. So you need to, I mean, if you have a good content and report writing skills, there are a lot of roles available in the cybersecurity domain by becoming a content writer. You can also become a security auditor. If you are, you don't need to be technical for becoming a security auditor, but you need to have a little bit of knowledge about cybersecurity, what is happening. And these are some of the skills you need to know. You may not need to do all these things, but you need to know these things. Awareness about cybersecurity phases and methodologies. how cyber attack happens, what are the phases that are involved, all those things that you need to have some knowledge. Knowledge in privacy and compliance regulations. See, for example, in India, we have we are going to get a act called DPDP Act, Data Privacy and Data Protection Act. Very soon we are going to get. And in the Western world, in the European Union, there are privacy rules and privacy regulations are already available. So the person need to know these things. For example, in the USA, we have something called PCI DSS for financial transactions, and there is something called HIPAA, HIPPA, for healthcare related data. So we need to know these things when you want to get into privacy related roles. Overview of cyber laws. These are required if you want to become a legal advisor or cyber lawyer. Or understanding of defense mechanisms is another interesting thing. You may not need to know how attack happens, but if you know how attack happens, how you can protect the systems, how attacker can come and then attack your system. If you know that, then you can protect your assets. And good articulation, writing, and collaboration skills also required if you want to become a content and report writer. So these are some of the careers available for non-IT, non-technical people in the cyber security world. And I'm getting into the details of some of the skills or some of the roles or activities related to a particular engineering branches. So let's say there are civil engineers here. These civil engineers may typically use these equipments, construction equipment, concrete testing equipment, soil testing equipment, surveying equipment, drafting and design tools, quality control lab equipment. I hope some of the civil engineers who are there in the audience can they can agree that they are using these equipments. If you have not used these equipments, nothing to worry. If you are getting into civil engineering jobs, you will be using these things. But what is relevant of these equipments to the cybersecurity world? See, all these equipments are internet enabled or they are connected. So let's say you are doing some design. So these are some of the sample activities that civil engineers will do: plan, design, manage construction projects. So they can do construction of bridges, roads, railways, and a lot of buildings. They can do a lot of construction projects, and they can also maintain environmental, geotechnical, structural, transportation, and water resources. These are the critical systems in any nation. So water, gas, electricity, transportation, all these are critical systems in any nation. And they also prepare maps, analyze maps, create reports, and create budgets. So these are some of the activities that civil engineers do. So let's say while carrying out these activities, if some cyber attack happens, if a design is altered and the whole construction will be collapsed. So that is the reason why a civil engineer also need to have knowledge about cybersecurity. So let's see what are the equipments that electrical and electronics engineers use and what are the sample activities, what activities they perform. Here I mentioned electrical and electronics. It doesn't mean that EEE engineers here. It also include any sub branches of electronics or any flavors of electrical engineers. So I've only listed few sample equipments here. It is not an exhaustive list. Some multimeters, oscilloscopes, logic analyzers, power supplies, signal generators, spectrum analyzers, probes and sensors. So these are some of the sample equipments that these electronics and electrical engineers use. See, for example, probes and sensors. A lot of IoT devices are there nowadays to give you some information. Let's say that IoT device is hacked. So let's say that particular information that IoT device is capturing, if that is tampered, if wrong data is given, then the whole analysis will go wrong. So see, these are some of the activities that electrical engineers or electronics engineers they perform. So fabricate electronic components and integrated circuits. So this is very, very critical for any electronic device to work. Let's say if something goes wrong in in manufacturing the IC chips, the entire functionality of that particular device will go wrong. So it is very important that this electrical and electronic engineer, they do their activities and also learn about cyber security, how cyber security attacks can happen to their systems, so that they can very well prepared from these attacks. Let's come to the mechanical engineers. So these are some of the equipments that mechanical engineers use. 3D printers, FEA software. FEA stands for finite element analysis. CAD tools, computer-aided design tools, workshop tools, project management tools, molding machines, and probes and sensors. So again, all these tools are well connected nowadays. So for example, if you want to manufacture something, most of the times now the designs are created in a particular tool using a computer, and the design will be given to a printer, and the printer will have the ready-made material, and then it will print, it will create the 3D model, 3D image of that particular product. So the whole thing is automated nowadays. Whole thing is well connected. And as you can imagine, if anything goes wrong in the design or in giving the instruction to the manufacturing machine, the entire product will not be used. We cannot sell that product because you are producing a defective product. So these are some of the activities that mechanical engineers will do. Create a 2D and 3D models using computer-aided design software. Record and analyze operational parameters of mechanical and thermal devices. Coordinate and liaise with third-party suppliers. What does this mean? Third-party suppliers means, let's say you are manufacturing an automobile. Let's say you are manufacturing a car. Okay, so whatever components that are required to manufacture a car, the company will not produce all those components. So they will buy some of the parts and products from their third-party suppliers. For example, they buy nuts and bolts, they buy paint, they buy horn, or they buy a music system from other third-party vendors. So these are called third-party suppliers. So the entire supply chain also need to follow the right amount of cybersecurity practices so that your end product will be very secure and then stable. So you need to, as a mechanical engineer, you need to coordinate and liaise and check whether all your third-party suppliers are follow the cybersecurity practices. Conduct and analyze experiments on various prototypes using operational technology software. So we are, as I mentioned earlier, operational technology software has nothing but your laser cutting machines, your lathe machines, or your X-ray machines, CT scan machines, all these things. See, for example, when a person is going for an X-ray, let's say if the X-ray machine is hacked, instead of giving X-rays exposure for 1 second, let's say it is exposed for 2 seconds or 3 seconds. So the entire health of the person will be damaged. So that is a kind of criticality we are seeing nowadays in the OT systems, operational technology systems. Supervise manufacturing process using robotic and automated tools. So entire manufacturing is automated now. So the instructions that go through the automated tools to the robots need to be properly verified, or need to be ensured that whatever instruction that you are giving, that robot is carrying out the right same instruction. So in between that instruction should not be altered. And let's come to the IT people now. So we have seen non-IT, IT earlier. We have seen civil engineers. We have seen electrical and electronics. We have seen mechanical engineers. Now IT and then computer science engineers. I have kept it last because I know that majority of the audience will be from IT background. So that's why I kept it last. So these are some of the equipments or tools. Equipment may not be a right word here. I would say tools that IT people use. So they use IDEs and testing tool. IDE is integrated development environment. Say, for example, your Eclipse is an IDE. Your Python editor is an IDE. Testing tools, there are a lot of testing tools like, just a minute. There are a lot of testing tools to ensure that the product is functioning properly. So those testing tools are available. And there are accessories, there are hardware accessories that IT industry use: RAM, storage. Storage is nothing but your hard disk. CPUs are nothing but where the processing happens. RAM is your volatile memory where the data is temporarily stored in this RAM chips. Hardware, you have routers, switches, and firewalls. You have a collaboration tools, your WhatsApp, your Teams, your Google Chat. All these are collaboration tools. So when you want to connect with other members of the team, so you use these collaboration tools to ensure that your work is happening uh, at the right time. And project management tools. Project managers typically use the project management tools to track and see how the project is progressing, whether all the activities are happening as per the timeline, all the dependent activities are completed, what are the next activities that are coming up, what I need to plan ahead. So all those things are happening in the IT industry. And project management tools, for example, you have MS Project or Scrum tools, Kanban tools. All these are project management tools used in IT industry. And CAD and embedded systems are also used in IT industry. So to ensure that these, uh, for example, your X-ray machines, it has an operating system. Your CT scan machine, it has an operating system, and it will have some applications. All those applications are developed by the IT companies or IT enabled companies, embedded systems companies. And these are some of the activities done by IT engineers or software people. Create user interfaces compatible with variety of devices. Let's say you have developed an application or a mobile application. That mobile application, you should be able to use it in any mobile device, whether it is an Apple phone or it is an Android or it is a Google Pixel or any other version of the phone, tablet or laptop or computer. You should be able to use it in any of the devices. Similarly, they create, conduct, analyze, test plans and strategies. So all the IT people, they create test plans. So what they need to test, when they need to test, how long they need to test, and then what is a pass criteria, fail criteria. So they will be able to um, do this. Design, analyze, and execute project requirements. Maintain hardware and software systems to support business strategies. Upgrade and maintain systems to secure from cyber threats. This is the most important thing, in my opinion. So any IT system that you have, whether it is a software component or hardware component, it needs to be maintained properly. You cannot go and then work in an old version of a particular software or a hardware, because the old version will have a lot of vulnerabilities. What is a vulnerability? Vulnerability is a weakness. Somebody can exploit those weaknesses and get into the system, get inside into the system. So you should be avoiding those vulnerabilities. See, for example, if you take iPhone, um, I think iOS 17 or 18 is the current operating system that you have. So this operating system, when Apple has released, so they have fixed some of the vulnerabilities that exist in the previous version. So that happens in any software, MS Office or your WhatsApp, your Facebook. All these applications will have regular upgrades. So you need to apply those upgrades so that the weaknesses that exist in the previous version cannot be exploited by the hackers. So in my opinion, as a cybersecurity engineer, so your duty would be to ensure that upgrade and maintain systems which will be secured from the cyber attacks or cyber threats. I think most of you are waiting for this particular information, this particular slide. So what are the job roles that we have in cybersecurity, and what are the prerequisites, and what I need to learn? And once I get into cybersecurity, how I can grow my career. So I hope this particular slide will answer all those questions. First and foremost, no specific technology skills required. You don't need to have any prior knowledge to learn cybersecurity. Good interest and analytical mindset is enough. That's all you need. You need to have good interest, right mindset to learn cybersecurity skills. And what are the roles we have? We have ethical hacker and pen tester. You have a privacy officer role. You have a SOC analyst role, forensic specialist role, security auditor, and under the management, we have different levels of roles available. So if you see closely here, some roles are technical. I mean, some roles are for technical people. Some roles are available for non-technical people as well. I would say typically privacy officer, security auditor are for non-IT, non-engineer, non-technical people. And of course, management anyone can get into management and career, the higher roles of a career. Either it's a technical and non-technical, they can get into management kind of roles. And ethical hacker, SOC analyst, and forensic specialist roles are kind of related to technical, but there is no such thing that non-technical people cannot get into these technical roles. There is nothing like that. Even a non-technical person, by learning these things, whatever I've mentioned below the role, by learning those things, they can get into technical roles as well. See, for example, in an ethical hacker and pen tester role, you need to have good understanding of ethical hacking phases. There are 3-4 phases that are there in the ethical hacking. For example, there is a first phase called reconnaissance, information gathering. That's the first phase. Second is your scanning or enumeration. Third is how you attack the system. Fourth is how you retain the access once you attack system. So you need to have knowledge about these phases. Then what are the open source and commercial tools available to do pen test? Pen testing is nothing but penetration testing. So when you are trying to do penetration testing or a hacking of a particular system, the one and first foremost thing is you need to have right permission. You need to have proper permission to get into hacking. See, for example, you are inside your hostel or a room or house. So you need to give permission to somebody to enter into the system. Otherwise, somebody enters into your room without your permission. That is not right. It is unauthorized access. Similarly, ethical hacking also need to have proper permission, proper prior authorization. Without that, you cannot do hacking of any particular website. And you need to learn social engineering techniques, data security and privacy, hands-on programming language, Python or Unix scripting. These are just a sample. You don't need to know great in detail. You don't need to write huge lines of code in Python or Unix scripting. But if you have some knowledge, you can go deeper into the roles. You can scale better into your roles. And privacy officer, you need to know the country-wise regulations. India will have one kind of regulations. USA will have different kind of regulations. European Union has different kind of regulations. So you need to know these regulations, because when you are working for a customer, if that customer is having operations in a particular country, so knowing the regulations of the country will help you do better job in that particular role. Awareness about the industry domains, which domain your company is working. Let's say you are working for a manufacturing company. So you need to know what are the tools, equipments, activities happen in the manufacturing industry. Legal knowledge. So as a privacy officer, you need to have a legal knowledge. Let's say you catch hold of the bad person who is trying to steal the data from your company, and you want to produce him in front of the court, and you should have sufficient legal knowledge so that you can take him to the court and then get the person punished. Data governance and management skills, encryption, data security, awareness. So I'm not expecting a privacy officer to know a lot about encryption, data security, but at least what kind of encryption practices are followed within the company. So those things need to be learned. Cyber security fundamentals are also another skill that you need to know. As a SOC analyst, SOC is nothing but Security Operations Center. So this is a very big unit in any big corporates. So what they do is they try to collect the data from various systems within the organization, and they use tools called SIEM, Security Information and Event Management tools. So you need to know what is the SIEM system that you have and how it collects the data and how security is configured. whether it is HTTP or HTTPS enabled, what kind of encryption, what kind of hashing they use, knowledge in AI/ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. If you have knowledge about these things, you can automate the data collection process, or you can perform some trend analysis, how data is coming from various systems, how you can apply machine learning algorithms and then find out some meaningful insights. All those things as a SOC analyst you can do. And you can also write automation scripts. You can proactively try to hunt the threats. What kind of threats that can come to the organization? You can do all those things. And also by learning network traffic fundamentals, you can do better job as a SOC analyst. Forensic specialist is another growing area in nowadays. What is forensics? Forensics is nothing but producing a digital evidence in front of the in front of the law, in front of the court. Okay, so that the court can accept the digital evidence as an admissible evidence, and then consider the proof, and then give punishment or give the judgment based on the digital evidence. So the forensic specialist will collect the digital evidence from the digital devices. So you need to have digital forensic concepts, how you can collect the data, how you can collect the data from a open system, or which is the system that is switched on, or from a system that is switched off, or how you can collect data from various hardware and network equipments. And you need to have some knowledge about cybersecurity, because let's say you are trying to collect the data from a laptop. So how a person can enter into the laptop? If you have that kind of knowledge, then you can see what kind of evidences that what kind of traces that the hacker would have left. So you can see those places and then try to collect those evidence. You can have that kind of knowledge. And also you need to have some exposure to the law and investigation, some hands-on skills on forensic tools, because let's say if you are trying to analyze a 64 GB data hard drive, and manually you will not be able to analyze that 64 GB hard disk. You need to have right tools to analyze the data, analyze the drive. And good analytical skills is very much required as a forensic specialist. And security auditor, as a security auditor, you need to have these skills: risk management. What are the risks that you see in your company? You need to list down the risks. You need to list down the mitigations, and you need to ensure that those risks are not materialized. So the proper planning is required as a security auditor. Regulatory compliances are also need to be known as a security auditor. So some security penetration testing fundamentals need to be learned. Knowledge in countermeasures is very much required as a security auditor. As a security auditor, you need to check whether these countermeasures are implemented or not. So let's say a website is there, and HTTPS need to be used. So if you are using HTTP, which means it is prone to cyber attack. So as a security auditor, you need to check whether the website is configured for HTTPS. So those kind of things that you can verify as a security auditor. Identity and access management controls. So whether proper access controls are given, multi-factor authentication is being used or not, those things you can check as a security auditor. And management and career growth. So you can become a information security officer, you can become a chief privacy officer. So you can start your career in one of these roles, and over a period of time, you can become one of these roles based on your experience, expertise, and the kind of knowledge that you will gain over a period of time. So this is a summary of the skills that I've mentioned. In the previous slide, I've shown you various roles and then what kind of skills are required. This is a summary of all the skills. So if you can learn these skills, you can get into any of the cybersecurity roles. So you don't need to learn all these things, but at least some of these things, if you can learn, that's you will have a good scope in getting into cybersecurity world. So network concepts, hardware security, hands-on experience on VAPT, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing tools. See, these skills will be used in any industry, whether it is a banking industry, logistics industry, healthcare industry, manufacturing, retail, utilities, government, education, you name it, any industry, you will require these skills. Not all, but at least few. Depending on your interest, you can start learning these skills. PKI stands for Public Key Infrastructure. Typically, it is used in the cryptography world. Data retrieval recovery, how fast you can recover the system, and scripting using Python and Unix skills, Unix shell scripting. If you are good in programming, if you are from IT background person, you can start learning the scripting in Python, write scripts to protect your systems, fundamentals of operating system and resources. So you need to know the details of your operating system. Let's say you are working on Unix or Windows, how booting happens, what happens when you switch on the computer, what happens when you switch on your mobile phone, where you need to check if your mobile phone is using resources, how you can check in your laptop. So what are the resources, what are the applications which are using most of the resources. So those fundamental things about operating system and resources, you need to have some idea. Identity and access management, how you can authenticate your the person. So those things you can learn from this identity and access management tool. Understanding of cloud environment is another important thing. So many companies, they have adopted this cloud technology and cloud technology nowadays. So you need to have idea about different cloud environments. We have three popular cloud providers. We have AWS, we have GCP, and we have Azure. So you need to have knowledge on all three or at least one. Digital forensics, as I said, it is a process in collecting digital evidences. So if you are having investigative kind of mindset, so you can get into digital forensics field and learn skills about these things. Knowledge in AI/ML, which is useful for any IT related role. Information security standards. If you want to become a security auditor, a privacy officer, a compliance officer, you need to know the security standards. ISO standard, ISO 27001, which is specifically meant for security, and offensive security methods. So if how you can break into a system. So sometimes your organization will try to test you whether you can you break into our systems with all the security uh, mechanisms, defense mechanisms that we have. So you can try to break into the system and then see that whether you can break or not. So that proves that whether how strong your systems are. So these are some of the skills that you can learn to get into cybersecurity jobs.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. And you have broken the common myth that only IT experts can work in cybersecurity. Your insights have made it clear that this is a field for people with diverse skills and experiences. So, Pratap sir, quickly, I just want to take a few questions. There are a plethora of questions coming from the audience. So I just want to patch 2, 3 questions.
Sure.
Shashwata Chatterjee is asking, I am pursuing MS Excel and also going to learn Python in just few days. Can I make a good permanent career in cybersecurity?
Definitely, Python will always add value to your skill. MS Excel is, it means even in MS Excel, people write macros. So macro is nothing but an automated script. So when you are writing macro, you need to ensure that that macro is not going to be tampered by other person. So by learning cybersecurity fundamentals, you can make career even by having MS Excel and Python.
Programming languages that should be learned for cybersecurity or ethical hacking?
Okay, if you are talking about programming languages, Python is definitely one, and Java is another one. So there are secure coding practices for each of these programming languages. For example, there is a lot of material available on secure coding practices in Python, secure coding practice in Java. So you can learn those things, and having some knowledge in operating systems and shell scripting also will help.
Okay, so Lakshmi is asking, as AI agents are going to take over most of the roles very soon, how is it going to affect their cybersecurity roles? How many of these roles are going to be relevant now?
Okay, very much relevant. And it is called agentic AI. That is the new buzzword nowadays. So using agentic AI, you can automate a lot of manual tasks. But at the same time, let's say if a cyber security incident happens, incident means, let's say if an attack happened and if there is a data breach, and using AI/ML scripts, you can collect find out the patterns where that attack has happened, which system got affected, how people entered into the system. You can make use of these AI ML technologies to find out those things.
Just want to announce something interesting about the Jobinar page, because many of the students are asking about the recording of this Jobinar. So now as we transition into the next phase, I want to share something that can truly make a difference in your journey. And also TCS iON is launching a cybersecurity course in next month. So we are thrilled to share that for some universities, we have already rolled out the cybersecurity certification program as part of our collaborative efforts. For those who wish to enroll directly, we are excited to announce that the cybersecurity program is set to live this February, as I mentioned, with multiple industry relevant courses under the cybersecurity domain. This is the perfect opportunity to elevate your career prospects. And to address the question about the recordings, yeah, sure. We will post our Jobinar page link with you, where many prior Jobinar recordings are already there. If we talk about the topics, career in IoT, careers in AI, cloud computing, we have also did master classes on trending technologies. So all you can find there. Okay. So lastly, I would like to ask Pratap sir, any last remarks, any guidance if you want to give to students with respect to cybersecurity?
Yeah, sure. So don't think that cybersecurity is only for IT people. Non-IT people also can get into cybersecurity roles. And once you get into cybersecurity role, so you don't need to get into a cybersecurity role as your first job. Let's say you get a job as a developer or a tester or any other role. But in your current role itself, see how you can implement your cybersecurity knowledge in your day-to-day activities. That will take you your career into the cybersecurity world. Then try to explore more into the cybersecurity world, and then go deep into the career. So you don't need to start your career as a cybersecurity in case if you are already got a job in non-cybersecurity role. But if you are trying to get into cybersecurity role, you can get your first job as a cybersecurity engineer itself.